Jason.
Hello.
You are a tricky, tricky person, Jason.
Go on.
Yes, you are. I went into the series ready to crack up hysterically, and you made me cry. And you took me
Oh,
through a whole spectrum of emotions. Tell me about the creation of this character, Ted Lasso. What is the true origin story? Not the as part of the show, but just the origin of creating this character.
Yeah, I mean, the character came from NBC Sports. Got the contract to have the Premier League, the professional soccer league, and showing it here in the states. And they had these ideas. They are an ad company to, you know, they presented like five ideas to me, and I love the idea of an American coach, coaching abroad. And but they modeled it based on these this like a coach character that I portrayed on SNL a few times, who was a little bit more of a hothead, almost like a Bobby Knight character, someone that yelled and motivated through like fear and anger. And I just wanted to play something a little different, kind of modeled after like Jimmy Stewart meets John Wooden, the great UCLA basketball coach that coached like Bill Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and that was we found a way to do that. And we did the first commercial, me and a couple of buddies, Joe Kelly and Brendan Hunt, who are writers and producers on the show as well, and Brendan being an actor on the show. Uh, and we got to do a second one. And in doing the second one, we kind of unlocked this part of his character that was this childlike wonder, this enthusiasm, this hopefulness, this unbridled optimism. And that really spoke to me in a way that I was like, oh, I think there's more here. And like anybody any of us that are walking this earth this day and age, there's more to us than just what we show on the surface or on our social media platforms or what have you. And I understood the heights of Ted and maybe even some of the emotional depth of him. And we wanted to flesh that out and see if that instinct is true. And the best way to do that is put your fingers across that keyboard and tap it out and see what you can come up with. And we found ourselves really being able to do that quickly and with interesting stories to tell, being huge fans of sports films from the 80's and 90's that have those elements where you laugh and you're cheering for a sport you maybe don't understand, and maybe even fall in love with the characters and care about them on a human emotional level. So it was a little bit of all that.
It was so beautiful. I mean, just the way, just a vessel of positivity, and not even in an annoying way. That really resonated with me in particular about if you're
yeah.
good to people, even if you're a little bit off kilter, that realness will resonate with them. How much of
Yeah.
that is actually scripted? It flowed from you just so beautiful. It's so much dialogue that you have to say during the course of the show. Are you freestyling a lot of that? Was it scripted? Because it was seamless.
That's very nice of you. I think I think one of the coolest things, having studied improvisation in the mecca of it, Chicago, Illinois, through Second City and a place called IO and the Annoyance Theater. Like I've always thought that the goal of improvisation is to make it seem like is this scripted? Is this happening now? Like are they lying to us? So it's very very kind of you. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of memorization. I had to give a lot of fancy speeches. It's like I'm might be second now to Felicia Rashad, with fancy speeches that she gave on Cosby's show. It's like it being one of the writers. That's very helpful because so I know where it's going and it's in my voice because I'm the one in many instances tapping it out. So that helps with the memorization thing. But a lot of it was scripted. I personally believe that you got to lead people halfway there, if not a little bit more, and then let them have space. Did you see that documentary that Rashida Jones made about her dad, the Quincy Jones doc? Okay, remember that quote that he had where it's like you got to get 70% of the way there and leave room for magic, like leave some space for the magic. When I heard that, I was like, that's look, I love Thriller, but that might be the most exciting thing I've ever heard that man say or do, and I believe in that. And so with the actors, I encourage them and empower them to, yes, anglicize things, make it, say it the way you would say it here. But then also, you got to tell me who this character is. I can tell you what they've gone through, the things that we've scripted out or beat it out in our heads, in the writer's room. But at some point, they got to take ownership over it and know it. And so I think that lends itself to making something feel alive and real, three-dimensional, and scripted yet improvised. That's the goal. So I'm very flattered that you felt that about our program.
I loved it. Thank you so much for your time. Loved all the hip
Yeah.
hop references too.
Hey,
Congratulations.
I'm a kid of the '90s. We Fat Five Freddy. He's in my soul. Yep.
That's right. Thank you so much,
All right.
Jason.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. See you.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.